How do you master your craft as a musician? That's what I'll be talking about today. Okay, so we're in a time point of history where there are more distractions than ever before. With the internet, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Netflix, Amazon, the list and list of things that you can do with your time is massive. But here's the trick. What are you focusing on? There's an interesting study that they've done where they watch what happens in the brain chemistry when things are repeated over and over again. It builds something called myelin. Myelin is the connective tissue that develops between your muscle memory and your creative thoughts. So basically, if you're thinking about how to play a C chord, at first when you're trying to play that chord on the piano, your fingers don't really know what to do because there's no connective tissue between the brain and the body. But after repetition and more repetition, you gain confidence, and all of a sudden your hands start to fall easily in place. But that repetition has to be done over and over again. You can't just think about it, you can't just want it, you can't just wish for it, you actually have to do it. And a lot of people in today's society are not used to actually having to do something because they're being told to fake it till they make it, or they're thinking I'll get around to it, or they've gotten so many good accolades or claps online for how they look in pictures that they're actually not putting in the time behind the scenes to work on the craft. Now, back in the day, people like Ray Charles and Etta James and Beethoven, there was no distractions from the outside based on social pressures to post pictures or to post videos or to show the journey. They just made music over and over and over again, which built an incredible amount of myelin. Now, this myelin is imperative because an interesting thing happens when you get a lot of adrenaline, when you get an adrenaline rush in your body. Let's say you get nervous when you're on stage, or if anyone's ever been frightened and you stop, you just shake and you kind of freeze. That frozen moment, because your brain is looking for what to do next. It's searching for what information do I have to do next in this situation of fright. If it searches and there's nothing there, people freeze. Now, if you did that to a UFC fighter and you try to jump out and he's freeze, it might knock you out, right? Same thing can happen on stage. If you're getting nervous, you see a big crowd. If you freeze, you don't know what to do, your hands won't know what chords to play. You'll lose train of thought. But if you know exactly what to do, because you've done it thousands of times, well, all of a sudden, your brain goes into autopilot. There's a really interesting documentary that I watched recently about a soldier who talked about the training when you go into battle. And he said what happens is that when you get a rush of adrenaline, your body goes to its highest level of training, and then it's able to kind of go in this flow state. I thought that was very interesting because in his expression of it, it was when you see a firefight, when people are shooting guns and you're not knowing what to do, and he was able to kind of see through all of the noise and be very clear-minded. The same thing happens with musicians. Anyone who's watching this who's experienced a high level of mastership with their guitar has lost train of thought and fell into the moment of just playing and seeing the crowd react, but you're really kind of in your own zone. Same thing with piano and same thing for singing. So realize this. When you get a flood of adrenaline, what is your highest level of training going to do? You got to ask yourself that. And if you say, well, I don't know, I haven't been training that much, then you're probably not ready yet for Mastership Level. And Mastership Level is where all the doors will open up in your career. When you can walk into any room, grab the guitar and just start shredding. If you can walk into any room, start playing piano. If you can walk into any room and start singing or writing a song or producing a beat, all of those things are trained tactics, things that you can constantly work at every single day. So here's my advice. For anyone who's looking to really push their career forward, you really want to learn how to master your own abilities and become undeniable as a musician, like the musicians of the past and how some people are today. It's imperative that you take the time for yourself, that you truly believe that this goal, this life as a musician is one that you want. And then once you truly decide that, set aside time to give it true commitment. Because if you're looking to get lucky, it probably won't last for a long career. But if you're looking to be part of the music industry because you are a real musician, it's part of who you are as a person, then take that time to push away social media for a little bit. Set aside the weekend to just practice and play. Give yourself the right amount of hours to build the myelin so when your time comes, you're ready. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you soon.